Whether you're a novice owner or a pro's pro, knowing what your cat wants at any given time is one of the most important aspects of feline ownership. Being able to cater to your pet, especially when it comes to the essentials, is very critical. But what about the million-dollar question? How do you know what your cat wants? That meow, that body posture, what does it mean, and does it really mean anything at all? When it comes to your cat's wants and needs, it all comes down to knowing your cat's personality and being able to read that all important body language. And while nothing is a true grand slam guarantee, being able to pick up on your cat's cues will indeed steer you in the right direction more times than not. Very interesting topic, and I've got you covered. Stay tuned. When it comes to felines, it's all about those expressions, those postures, your cat's body language. And if you sprinkle in a few meows along the way, you'll find that you have quite a lot to work with when it comes to communication. Being able to read your cat's body language is one of the most important things you can learn as an owner. Outside of providing your cat with the basics, being able to take communication cues can take that relationship, the relationship you have with your pet, to the next level. I often speak about building that bond of trust. Well, if you can read your cat's cues, your pet will thank you for it. Hey, they get it. When I look at them a certain way, when I meow a certain way, they know exactly what I want. When your cat realizes that you're quite the seasoned vet when it comes to picking up what your cat is putting down, that can only help the relationship in the big picture. When it comes to the specifics of this topic, my advice with respect to taking in the information is to apply your own spice to any situation. I don't know your cat, and when it comes to individual wants and needs, the basics that I'm going to tell you about here today, well, they can only go just so far. So, I'm about to lay out a few essentials, and while doing so, I do encourage you to sort of meet me halfway when it comes to your cat's tendencies, your own cat's tendencies, and general personality. There's no way for me to ever know what your specific cat wants, but I can provide you with a sound jumping off point, let's call it, and provide you with some basic cues. Make sense? Did you get that? All right. The body posture of a happy cat. Let's start with a happy cat. The cat that's not in the midst of wanting or needing will take on a rather chilled posture. Sometimes this is referred to as a natural posture. Imagine that. As an owner, look for those ears. Are the ears stressed? Cats that are content have relaxed ears. They're not herky-jerky. They're not pinned back. The same normalcy can also be found in your cat's eyes and tail. Relaxed pupils, the unbothered look. As for that tail, a happy cat will have an extended tail without tension. No rigidity is present. The tail, in most instances, will be flat if the cat is physically relaxed and curled up. As for the body, assuming that lying down posture, be mindful of any exposed belly or some side resting. This is more or less the baseline, and this is very important, especially for novice owners. When it comes to taking cues, understanding what the lack of need looks like is very important. When your cat wants nothing, well, what's the visual? Understanding the foundation can help you considerably. And here again, every cat's idea of contentment will present itself in a unique and subtle way, but the general overview will be similar to the one that I just provided. Now, when it comes to immediate wants and needs, cats that are attempting to get your attention can use a whole host of things from their bag of tricks. Some cats will rub against you. Be mindful of your cat's headbutting of your legs and rubbing against your arms while delivering a series of meows. If your cat is rubbing while singing to you, that's a sign that you're needed in some capacity. When it comes to the home environment, your home, there's a good chance that your pet is in need of food, water, social time, playtime, or cuddle time, or that litter box. It's time to clean it. Those more or less are the wants and the needs. In some instances, going back to that personality, some cats will make it physically known, walking over to the water bowl, walking back to you, walking to the food bowl, walking back to you, making a trip to the nesting area, grabbing a toy and dropping it at your feet, and making a trip to that unclean litter box, as if to show you the problem. If a cat feels as though they're having trouble getting their point across, some felines will attempt to turn attention to the actual want or need by standing near it. The heart of the matter. Your cat could very well bring it to you, or at least make an attempt to get you to focus on it. Again, food bowl, water bowl, litter box, a toy for play. These are all things, all items that your cat or any cat can use to manipulate to get attention beyond physically touching it, touching you, giving you a look, and meowing. During the earlier stages of ownership, or the early stages of ownership, especially in that first 6 months, assuming your cat is not a newborn, pay attention to how your cat acts while content and how your cat acts when they want certain things. In full disclosure, the answer to what your cat wants at first, it could be found by you, courtesy of a bit of trial and error. It's all about having that information in your back pocket. Whatever the problem is today, the want or the need, once you cater to it, how your cat acted in that moment, remember it. Put it in the old memory bank for future use. This is where personality comes into play, because you could have 10 cats with empty water bowls in order to get their owner's attention. Each cat could go about it and act differently. 10 different cats, 10 different ways. This is why it becomes so very important to never let a want or need go to waste in terms of learning your ability to learn your cat to read those vocal cues, those body cues, that body language. Before I wrap things up for this video, I'll also mention, and this is, to me, very, very important, knowing what your cat doesn't want is just as important as anything else. Crossing those personal barriers, learning to leave your cat alone. That's just as important as your ability to fill up that water or food bowl. Have you ever picked up a cat at your own personal convenience, your convenience, and soon discovered that wasn't the best idea in the world? Were you met with an angry cat and a case of the claws? How about attempting to pet a cat on the belly that really didn't want it? Forcing the action, forcing the issue, forcing the attention. Sometimes what your cat wants is to be left alone. If your cat is keeping distance, it's important to respect that space. You can acknowledge your cat without getting in your pet's personal space, their personal area. If you were sitting at your kitchen table handling the bills for the month, you probably wouldn't want someone clinging all over you. The same is true for your cat. Just because your pet is alone doesn't mean they want your attention in that moment. This is why, unless your cat is outright misbehaving, let them, for the most part, let them call the shots. Your pet wants the cuddles, they'll let you know. As you get to know your cat's personality and that bond of trust grows, you'll be able to read your cat and they'll be able to read you. The result? Well, in the best of times, a topic like this, a video like this, it won't even cross your mind. You'll know your cat like the back of your hand, thanks to putting in the work, on-the-job training, taking those vocal and body language cues for so many years. My final piece of advice, especially for new owners, if your cat is meowing at you, pacing the floor, rubbing against you, check the basics. Make sure in that moment that all essentials are being met and taken care of. What your cat wants could require a bit of investigating. Make sure all the grounds are covered. You never know. It could be something as simple as you've been busy all day and you've lost track of time and your pet's letting you know, hey, it's dinner time. Time to eat. Prepare my meal. The life of a cat owner is indeed a work in progress. Learning to read your cat, it won't happen overnight. But eventually you'll find yourself on the same page as your feline friend, and that is the sweet spot. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, when your cat is in want, when your cat is in need, are you able to recognize the cues? Has Father Time taught you that your cat gives off different signs for different wants and needs? Is the I'm hungry cue different from the cuddles cue? Or are you a new owner and this is all still very much a work in progress for you? Anything and everything, I'd love for you to share your personal stories and that comment section. As always, it's all yours. Your ownership journey. Anything you have to say, right there in the comment section below. And before I go, as always seems to happen, but the most simplistic of video titles, it's that material that is often the most complex. How do you know what a cat wants? Well, how much time do you have? Take a seat. Sheesh. It's a journey. If you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of Senior Cat Wellness, the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.